This is commentary of Harman Smith commenting on Kotaku in action. He name calls niche gamers and I guess has something to do with Japanese media. So let's see what he has to say, because this is obviously going to be him using ad hominem attacks to promulgate communication. So let's continue.
I've always been a big critic of the sexual deviancy from the censorship community.
It looks like he's setting up for a morality grandstanding point. He's going to make himself a authoritative speaker on, I guess, sexual matters. I find that hypocritical coming from him, because he looks like a slug on a couch wearing whatever kind of glasses those are. But let's continue.
Right, people who obsessively, compulsively believe that every change.
It's interesting that he talks about obsessive and compulsive beliefs when he ritualistically worships Nintendo, which is his obsession.
Every alteration to a character's outfit in a Japanese release is some grand SJW conspiracy.
He's already referring to conspiracy theories to reinforce his ideas. Apparently there is some sort of conspiracy about how Japanese anime characters dress.
It can't be a simple redesign or the creators wanting to take the series in a different direction. No, it's part of some elaborate scheme that these...
I assume he's going to make a suggestion on how characters should be appropriately designed. This is going to be a salad bar argument where friggin' he dresses the doll up how he wants and declares that to be the appropriate way.
Sexualize everything and prevent you from looking at anime titties. It is a grand...
So obviously he thinks that the focality of character design should be based on the sexual organs of the characters. So let's see what else he has to say.
Conspiracy to ruin video games and all of entertainment. It is, of course, completely laughable. I typically talk about this kind of thing in regards to Nintendo releases, but I've been wanting to kind of branch out and kind of talk about other things as well in regards.
So instead of obsessing over Nintendo, he's going to be obsessing over what Kotaku in action, niche gamers, ad hominem attack, accuse every whatever. So yes, he is branching out, and it's going to be as stupid as his other commentary.
Stop it, because it is something that has that does indeed have some association with other material. I think manga and anime is the big one, but speaking strictly,
when it comes to manga and anime, I watched the original Ninja Scroll back in the late 90s, early 2000s, which was one of the first animes, as well as Vampire Hunter D, and there was some sexual content, but that was not the focality of the media, more so than the extreme gore and violence in relation to dark themes bordering on the dark macabre.
Two video games for this video anyway. I have noticed the weird conspiracy revolving around Atelier, right? Rise Up in particular. This idea that this game is being taken over by SJWs who don't...
He believes that a group of people that he does not like is usurping the role of a video game. Now, I've never played the Artelier series, but I know that it is a famous Japanese RPG, similar to Ni no Kunai, which I have played.
I don't want you to look like a 16-year-old girl's thoughts. This is the conspiracy.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up, but is the Artelier character actually 16 years old? They might not have specified the age in the storytelling, so this might be a false statement.
Is that these guys are coming out and saying that, oh man, the producers are coming out talking about how they don't care, how they don't like people sexualizing their character, and that means they're an SJW cop.
Who's the director, Harman, and what did they say? You didn't provide a citation other than citing an anonymous alien entity said a thing in an unknown manner and location. This isn't evidence of anything, just an accusation by yourself. and since you put in a homonym attack in your title, I assume that you're going to use slander to levy insults against people.
So that means that like Artelier is going to be ruined, and we're never going to get a character as delicious as Ryza ever again. Like, these pedophiles are just.
You use the term delicious to describe a character that you described as 16 years old, and then you accuse people of being that word. That says a lot about you, not them.
Off the wall, but it is. Where was I going with this?
You're not going anywhere with it. You're using circular logic, so you're always going back to the start.
It is. It's interesting, right? When you look at like what the creators say, like they make it very clear like what the reasoning behind this is. It's that they came up with like a female design. It was meant to be like an aesthetically pleasing, like cute design. Emphasizing her positive characteristics as a character.
They target demographics to the audiences that play the game. If the target audience of the game is young boys, they're going to have to make their female characters look desirable so that people are interested in the character. They're not going to make an ugly character because nobody will want to play as that.
Like an adventurous, like tomboy or whatever. They came up with a Ryza character, and like they specifically said that like the character was not meant to be sexualized. Like she's meant to be like a normal girl or whatever, right? And people.
Again, it comes back to demographics. Nobody wants to play an ugly character. If your audience is young boys that play video games, then of course you're going to have to make the female characters have some sex appeal and some attractiveness. Otherwise, nobody's going to be interested in those characters in that demographic. It's all about demographics and marketing.
Players coming out and like sexualizing the character, like when she's not really meant to be that, right? Like it comes off.
When you say that they're not meant to be like that, it seems like you're trying to say that you're the writer, you're the authority dictating on it. Again, you're just a slug on a couch trying to say how things are done or how the universe is run. You really don't have authority over anything.
As if I played a little bit of Ryza, right? Like I know a little bit about what the character is like and what the vibe they're going for is, and it's meant to be like wholesome, like family, like slice of life, like anime fun, right?
No, it's not. It's supposed to be an RPG where people go on to an adventure to defeat a great evil. That's the common theme with Japanese RPGs. When Final Fantasy VII came out, it was not family friendly. You were playing a terrorist trying to overthrow the government, which was run by a corporation, and then it transitions from that to defeating a god-level entity that wants to destroy the world. That's not a family-friendly theme.
A girl like learning to be an alchemist. Like it's cute, it's charming, but I wouldn't call it like sexually charged, right? It doesn't need to be. That's not the audience they're going for. That's not the vibe they want. But
the audience is the demographic young boys that play RPGs or freaking young adults. That is the audience that they go to. Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy VII, all those games revolves around extreme violence, governmental oppression, terrorism, and just general violence to overcome a great evil that threatens the world. That is basic storytelling in the fantasy in sci-fi genres. It's not about being family friendly. It's about telling a story and narrative quality.
But when people speak out against like the alleged censorship or like the creators wanting to censor the character,
I'm not clear who you're speaking on behalf of. Clearly you're anti-SJW, so I assume you're a right-winger. But the thing is that these people that you say are saying things, you never say who they are. You relegate them to the adjunct alien entity, which makes it seem like you're perpetuating a conspiracy theory because your language is never precise.
Like it's like they're pushing for the character to become something she isn't, right? That she was never intended to be. And it's like they don't respect like the creator's intentions when it comes to this kind of thing.
Again, you're speaking on behalf of others. You're trying to speak on behalf of the creators and trying to tell the story as as though you would have wrote it, but you didn't write it. They wrote it, and they wrote it for an audience that you don't represent.
Is that like I feel like Artelier is actually a pretty good female-oriented franchise with like some surprisingly like.
I would like to remind the people listening that he's talking about niche gamers, freaking slanderous word, accuse every people of something, and he's talking about Artelier and the sexualization of the characters. I don't know what this has to do with the group that he's trying to talk about when he's just talking about this game. I think he's divested himself from his actual topic.
Charming character designs and aspects, like it kind of reminds me of like a shoujo anime or whatever. I don't read this stuff. I don't play this stuff much, but like.
If you don't read it and you don't play it, then why are you commenting on it? It's pretty clear that you have no concept of what the storytelling is about, other than the clip bits that you've read on your 4chan site, which is a giant circle jerk of nonsense where people just slander everything in sight.
It has that vibe to it, and like it makes sense. That kind of
it has a vibe. That's imprecise language again. He's using imprecise language because he doesn't know the source material, so he has to use words like feelings and stuff like that because he can't cite specific storytelling points in Artelier. I haven't played it, but I'm not going to tell you what the story is because I don't know what it is. But he's actually lecturing the whole world as if he did, when in fact he admitted that he didn't.
Focus on desexualizing a character if it's meant to be like for younger audiences, if it's meant to be for girls, if it's meant to be for people who enjoy cute.
When they say younger audience and sexualized comment, they mean babies and children, people that are like 6 to 8 years old, viewing the content. That's why you get a PG-13 rating. Stuff like that. It's not like you're going to sit there and say that you can't have Sailor Moon for freaking 16-year-olds because that's the target audience of that show.
Things, right? Like, it doesn't make sense to keep pandering to like an adult male demographic who just like.
The adult male and young audience is the target demographic because they have the most money. They buy the most games. Freaking kids that are 6 to 12 years old do not have money. They do not buy these games. Their parents buy these games. You have to target to young adults and adults in general in Japanese RPGs that have adult themes because that's the target demographic that has the money you want to get. Again, it's back to marketing.
Fetishizing like underage anime girls, like that doesn't make any sense to me at all, right? Like I totally understand where characters.
Again, how do you know they're underage? Is it specified in the material? I mean, if you could show me a screenshot where a character in that game says that they are 16 years old or 14 or whatever, then your statement would be true. Otherwise, you're just conjuring facts from nowhere.
Where the creators are coming from when they talk about like wanting to move away from the fan service aspect, because I myself am put off by like the behavior of these adult male fans, right? Like I don't like them, I don't respect them, and
so this is you are establishing casus belli to wage war against them. Do you see them as enemy soldiers to be destroyed? I mean, you're not going to do much because I don't see much combat ability from you other than screaming loudly. So, I mean, you're sitting there drinking your water like a diabetic. So I don't see how you're going to be an effective adversary to anyone.
I've encountered these people several times in like my endeavors to deal with like the censorship allegations against Nintendo and stuff like that, and it's the same kind of thing. Like it is the exact same kind of thing where these people just obsessively like make things up about the company, trying to like make them.
Not once have you cited a fact about people being. Or actually, no, you haven't once cited a fact about the characters being underage. I don't know if they're underage. I don't know anything about the game, but you're acting like an authority, and you haven't cited any evidence. You haven't posted screenshots. You referred to directors, but never specified them by name. How do I know you're not lying? Because you seem to be the kind of person that would slander people. You even slandered people in the title of your video. So how do I know what you say is true when you base your argument on ad hominem attacks and defamation?
Paint them to be something they aren't. Like, I've seen these same people, like, try to tell you, like, try to say that, like...
These same people, he can't identify them by name. So these are the boogeymen that live under his bed. He can't name anyone, he can't cite anyone, he can't say anything specific other than a conspiracy theory of random alien beings.
Like, the Metroid Prime Remastered, like, version of Samus Aran is going to be the standard version going forward. Like, apparently not realizing it was the same design they used in the original Metroid Prime. That was replaced.
I played Metroid Prime on GameCube when I was on the USS Rushmore in 2003. When I was going to Iraq. We were playing it in the berthing area. That's how far that game goes back. And that game, everyone knew that Samus was a woman. They knew that they wore armor. I knew that when I was 8 years old and played it. Played the original Metroid and got the time clear mission where you actually saw Samus not wearing her armor in the end scroll credits. Can you speak for that?
Immediately by Prime 2, right? Like, nobody ever thought she was attractive in Prime 1. She was never attractive in Prime 1.
In the original NES cart from 1986, which was released in August, if you beat the game in less than 10 minutes, you could see a blonde-haired Samus Aran wearing a bikini, and she appeared to be relatively attractive in 1986. So you should really research the history of Nintendo, because you're not being an effective Nintendo fanboy.
These secondaries don't know that, right? They don't know anything about, like, these games and, like, the characters or whatever. They just want to complain about, like, about how not every character is, like, a sex doll or whatever. They hate variety.
They literally dressed up Samus Aran like a sex doll in the end credits of Metroid, the first for the NES. If you beat the game in less than 10 minutes, she was wearing a bikini. So your statement there is patently false.
They hate creativity. They hate, like, people, like, not catering to them. And I think you really shouldn't pay attention to these people at all. Like, I have no respect for these perverted lunatics.
I'm aware that you're disrespectful and towards people in general that you don't like because it's in your title. You use ad hominem attacks to slander people. You've repeatedly referred to people by name calling, so therefore I can tell that you're entirely disrespectful.
Who just want to coom all the time, like the Nick Ricadas of the world. Right? Like, not everything needs to be ultra-sexualized. You need to grow up.
If you want to talk about hypersexualization in games, then obviously the topic of interest there would be the Steam games that are pornography, the hentai games, and stuff like that that show overt sexual characterization, instead of going after Artelier. I mean, there's objective pornography AO games on Steam. There are a lot of them, but obviously you don't know about any of them, and you want to talk about friggin' Japanese RPGs. They have very little sexual content at all compared to games. I just pop up the Steam library, and there's games like Latex Dungeon that popped up on the AO thing, which is an overt pornography, such like that, and on and on and on. So it's not like Artillery is being sexualized is pornography compared to games that are actual pornography, like the Residents of Itch.io. Thank you. That was Harman Smith illustrating to the world that he has no idea what he's talking about. Thank you. Have a nice day, and I will end this video now because this is the conclusion of this video.